We live in an educational research in a very pragmatic world where we're going to have to make decisions, and we're going to have to ask ourselves, okay, is the evidence good enough to move forward? So that's the spirit in which the whole workshop is presented. I initiated this with an observational study question because that's the one that's most controversial, and actually that's the one that started my work in this area. But then I'll take you into any context. You might be wrong, and we really just got to get used to the fact that this inference might be wrong, and we'll see what we need to talk about what it would take to change your inference. Just for the presentation purposes, so you know what to expect, I know I'm not running 120 slides down your throats in 4 hours to drive you nuts, right? So I've got it set up so there'll be exercises for you to do, chances for you to reflect and that sort of thing, sort of staggered throughout. And you'll see that where we're going to start is we're going to think about replacing cases. This is new work, and it was published in 2013. We're going to work with something called the counterfactual. We're going to be talking about internal validity and external validity. We'll do our exercises we'll have a chance to reflect, and then we'll do some exercises toward the end. And then the second half, we'll do something with correlations. So my question for you, can you make a causal inference from an observational study? I have a headache. I take an aspirin. My headache goes away. Is it because I took the aspirin? The answer is you will never know. So when we go through this equation, this kind of representation here, it's the same thing as this graph. You're just asking how much is the estimate above the threshold. Now we know. How robust is this inference? 85% of the estimate would have to be due to bias to invalidate the inference. So that's our starting point. The yellow data represent the observed data. And the pink data represent the counterfactual data you would have to believe existed in order to invalidate the inference. Now we're going to specify our threshold as a correlation. And what do we need to keep our eye on? The product is what's going to change that correlation coefficient. So this work that I'm going to present to you then says, okay, you might be wrong, but what would it take for you to be wrong?
To view this course, please visit the Virtual Research Learning Center, VRLC, today.